Hi guys, welcome to Unit 6, Lesson 4, Surface Area of Triangular Prisms. So, just as a reminder, surface area is the sum of the area of all faces or surfaces on a three-dimensional shape. Okay, so that's the definition taken from your lesson. Slightly different than our last definition, but same thing. Again, think wrapping paper, covering like a present or something perfectly, okay? So for triangular prisms, they're a little different than rectangular prisms in that we can't just use the basic area formula like length times width, okay? But what we can do is we can label the different parts and understand different parts of the triangular prism within the formula. So first off, we have the base times the height. So that's like, I don't know, I'll use this triangle back here. So we have the base and then times the height, okay? I know I have it labeled up here, but it would be the same over there. So base times the height. Now the reason why we have base times height, which is like a rectangle, is because we have two triangles. And if you have two identical triangles, right, then their area is equal to that of a quadrilateral, which is just base times height or length times width. So that's where that's coming from. So that is like the front and the back, all right, our bases. Then what we have is, again, triangle-wise, okay, and if you look at, like if I were to look at this as a net, which we will in one of the examples today, all three of these sides, so like this side, like the right, the left, and the bottom, if we were to lay all of them out flat, they'd be one big rectangle with the three sides of the triangle being the width of the rectangle, and then we also have the length, okay? So I know like visually that might be something hard to conceptualize, but hopefully it'll make more sense when we go through the example, okay? And then so that's like this is equal to the width of that big rectangle and then times the length, okay? So yes, it's a triangular prism, but it's technically broken up into a bunch of rectangles, all right? So, but the way we have to structure it's a little different. So let's get into some examples before I confuse you anymore with this abstract language. So with this one here, the first one that we're going to do is number 4 from your practice. So we're given this nice rectangular prism, and it says find the surface area. So again, we're going to be using this formula. Now, first off, we need to figure out, well, what are all of these different values? Okay, and so one thing you can do, and I'd recommend this, especially as you're getting used to it, because you want to keep yourself organized. Okay, now the base and the height, well, here's my base, okay, that's going to be 6, okay, the height of the prism is 8, okay, now that's also a side length, because this, it looks like it's probably like a right triangle for both of those, so our height is going to be 8, okay, because the height is always found by, it's a perpendicular distance from the opposite vertice to the base, and so this happens to be the height as well. Now S1, S2, S3, remember those are that's like the perimeter of the I said it right the first time, the triangular base. So we could say that's 10, and then we have 6, and we have 8, okay? And then the length, well, that's here, that's the distance from one base to the other, so that would be 9. So hopefully that helps, because then now that we have everything labeled, we can take that original formula, surface area is equal to base times height plus side 1 plus side 2 plus side 3 times the length. And then we can just plug in and go. So base times height, that would be 6 times 8 plus, and then we have 10 plus 6 plus 8 times 9. Okay, well, according to the order of operations, we have to do whatever is in the parentheses first. So we're going to add all of these together. 10 plus 6 is 16, plus another 8 is 24. So we have 6 times 8 plus 24 times 9. 6 times 8 is 48, and then 24 times 9, well, let's see, 20 times 9 is 180, plus 4 times 9, which is 36, that'd be 216, I think, but I better check my work on a calculator just to be safe. Yeah, 216. Okay, and then we'll add those together, so plus 48, that gives us 264. We were talking about centimeters, so that would be centimeters squared. Okay, so it's about understanding the formula and like what's what. Okay, so this is a picture of a net, like I was talking about earlier. Okay, and notice, so here's our two bases. Like if we were to fold those up, right, those would be the two triangular bases, and then we could like fold this side up and this side up to make the prism, right? So notice we've got one giant rectangle, and these are the sides of that triangle, right? But they make one long side of a rectangle as well if we add them together, and that's what we are doing right here. Okay, so with that though, let's fill in our formula. We've got base times height. Well, the base of our triangle is 5. The height is 4. So we've got 5 times 4 plus, and then we're going to add all the sides. Well, that's this right here. We've got 1, 2, 3, or 5 plus 5 plus 5. And then the length of the prism is 10. Right? That's like the distance from one base to the other. So we're going to multiply that by 10. We can rewrite this. We've got 5 times 4 plus, and then 5 plus 5 plus 5 is 15 times 10. Well, 5 times 4 is 20 plus, and then 15 plus times 10 is 150. My brain was moving faster than my mouth. Add them together and we get 170, and again we're talking about centimeters squared. Okay. All right, with this next one, this is number 5 from your quick check. It says, what is the missing length, L, on the triangular prism if the surface area is 524 square centimeters? So again, and I always like to rewrite the formula because I don't want to forget anything. So let me do that again real quick. Okay, and then we will fill in what we know, but we're going to be solving for L, right, the length. So let's see, the base of our triangle, that looks like 8, and I'm choosing 8 because that is perpendicular to this height that's given, which looks like a 6. I didn't write it very well, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. So we've got 8 times 6 plus, and then we've got 10 plus 8 plus 10. The order doesn't matter. And then we are looking for L, but we were given a surface area of 524. Okay, and now we'll solve. So we've got 524 equals, we could do this part here, 8 times 6 is 48, plus, and then 10 plus 10 is 20, plus another 8 is 28, times L. Well, now we're just down to a two-step equation, right? We can subtract 48 from both sides. I'm going to get it set up in my calculator because eventually I'm going to want it for the division. So I've got 524 minus 48. That gives us 476 equals, and then these ones will cancel, and then we have 28 times L. So I'm going to divide both sides by 28. That gives me 17 on the left, and then those cancel on the right, and I'm left with the length. So the length is equal to 17, and once again, we're talking centimeters. So that would be your final answer. Now, our answer was just a distance, right? So it's not going to be squared, okay? That's only if you're looking for area. All right, guys, have an awesome day. Let me know if you need any extra help.